All right, y'all, welcome to the show. We got a lot to talk about. So, this was a really big story that got overlooked, but apparently Leon Panetta, who's the former director of the CIA, and he also had top defense positions as well, he came out and basically called Israel a terrorist nation. This is unheard of. The CIA is usually like lockstep with Israel. So this is a huge, huge deal, and I think it's a warning of things to come. Then we'll get to Bill Maher rampages against Kamala Harris over the issue of Israel. A lot to say about that. Melania Trump was caught scamming MAGA. That's interesting. Speech she gave to the log cabin Republicans. She got $1 gazillion for that. Later on, we have one of the IDF freaks. What's his name? One of the Weinstein bros. Anyway, he went on a podcast and he just, God, these guys are such jokes. Kamala's a communist and she's a Maoist, and he does some like fake dramatic pause. I don't know if I can tell you what her agenda is. A lot to say about that. And Libs of TikTok was caught in a disgusting lie about Kamala. And Trump and J.D. Vance are continuing to be sweaty little moist weasel boys. So we got all that and more. Everybody do me a big favor. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you to everybody who supports this show on Patreon. You guys make it work. We could not do it without you. Please consider, if you haven't yet, $5 a month, $2 a month, whatever it is, helps. Remember, I don't talk to billionaires. I don't talk to foreign governments. I don't talk to any advertisers. It's all you guys and the default ads on YouTube that keep this show running. And if I'm being honest, the default ads on YouTube, man, I've been getting knocked on a lot of demonetization lately. A lot of demonetization, probably because of the topics that we talk about. But what am I going to do? It's just nature of the business. All right. So without any further ado, let's jump into it. So this is wild. The former CIA director, Leon Panetta, and he also held top defense positions in the Obama administration and maybe others as well. This guy, he's a career establishment type. And he was interviewed here about Israel. And the stuff he says is just eye-opening because there's now officially a war within the deep state over support for Israel. Watch this.
Still exploding pagers and walkie-talkies on the scale that we saw this past week. Killing dozens and injuring thousands, including children. Some viewed as a deception one step too far. The United Nations labeled the operation a violation of international law. And it's raised some eyebrows here at home, too.
The ability to be able to place an explosive in technology that is very prevalent these days. And turn it into a war of terror, really, a war of terror. This is something new.
Is it terrorism?
I don't think there's any question that it's a form of terrorism.
Former Defense Secretary and former Director of the CIA, Leon Panetta, wasted no words in describing what he fears may be the result of letting this particular genie out of the bottle.
This has gone right into the supply chain, right into the supply chain. And when you have terror going into the supply chain, it makes people ask the question, what the hell is next?
It sounds like you're genuinely worried.
I am. This is a tactic that has repercussions. And we really don't know what those repercussions are going to be.
At the very least, he's worried Israel's tactical decision has made the prospect of a wider war in the region closer than it's ever been.
The forces of war are largely in control right now of what's going on.
Do you think there should be condemnation for it? Should other nations step in, including us?
I think it's going to be very important for the nations of the world to have a serious discussion about whether or not this isn't an area that everybody has to focus on, because if they don't try to deal with it now, mark my word, it is the battlefield of the future.
That's a terrifying warning. He's saying, idiots, iceberg dead ahead. You want to have another colossal war in Iran, a colossal war with Hezbollah in Lebanon. You want U.S. troops involved. And by the way, a war with Iran would be way, way worse than even war in Iraq was. Iran is way more powerful than Iraq was when we invaded them. The guys, a former CIA director is like, hey dog, X-nay on the Warskay. This is getting kind of wacky. This is getting kind of crazy. He talks about the Hezbollah pager attack. I saw wall-to-wall like joy over that. So many people, it's a brilliant and tactical and targeted strike against the Hezbollah terrorists. Well, guess what? And many of you guys know this, but a lot of other people don't. Hezbollah is basically a pseudo-government in massive parts of Lebanon, right? It's not like if you're in Hezbollah It's not just you're a militant, you're a terrorist. That's not the case. You have many civil servants who do non-military jobs in Hezbollah. And they blew up the pagers on a casual day when everybody's going about their business and shopping at the store and doing whatever. And that's how you get a situation where a lot of civil servants who aren't terrorists or militants get killed. You get a situation where multiple children are killed. And then also, as he points out, really, you want to open this Pandora's box here? You want to have like electronics that people buy? Now everybody's got to worry, well, was this rigged with an explosive? Can this be used in an attack? How can this be used against us? Like, we keep laying precedent after precedent after precedent, which can come back and absolutely bite us in the ass. You know, it's bad enough when you do a terror attack, full stop, and you kill all these civilians and these women and children. But also, like, turnabout is fair play, bro. Other nations are going to start doing this shit too. We've totally destroyed any semblance of a serious notion of international law. And now we're in a place where Israel violates it on a daily basis. We defend them on a daily basis. We don't have a fucking leg to stand on when some other country violates international law. We can't clutch our pearls and sort of shame them back into compliance when we violate it on a regular basis. And he said the forces of war are in control. In other words, the military-industrial complex is driving us right off a fucking cliff right now. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. And look, we covered it the other day. There is genuinely a split among U.S. federal agencies, among the deep state in the U.S. And a bunch of the agencies are like, hey man, Israel is already violating U.S. law. They're preventing the delivery of aid to innocent women and children and civilians who are in these like makeshift refugee camps. They're starving them. They're making them go thirsty. They're not sending in medicine. And this is a violation of multiple U.S. laws. So we have to enforce this and stop sending the money and stop sending the weapons. And Blinken and Biden were like, meh, disagree. Keep sending them money, keep sending them weapons. And now the former head of the CIA has come out, effectively called Israel a terrorist nation, and said the forces of war are in control, and you don't even know what you just started. That's what he's saying here. Guys, I played you that video the other day of Netanyahu. I played you the video. It was at the beginning of the war in Iraq. He testifies in front of Congress, and every single thing he said was wrong. He was like, look, if we go into Iraq, it'll have a phenomenal effect, and you'll have freedom flourish throughout the region, bro, and it'll have a positive effect in Iran, and democracy will come about in the Middle East, and everything will be great, and it'll be nothing but puppies and rainbows and white picket fences and all wonderful things, bro. Every single thing he said was wrong. This is the same guy who now wants war with Hezbollah in Lebanon, wants war with Iran, and ultimately, what does it come back to? He wants to save his own ass politically. The second the war is actually over, he's out, he's gone, he's no longer in power, he's facing corruption charges, he's donezo. He has every incentive in the world to keep this going. So he continues the genocide. He opens up a new front against Hezbollah, and by the way, 40,000 U.S. soldiers are now stationed in the region. And you have a former CIA director who's normally in lockstep with Israel and the U.S. military. He's coming out going, this is not going to end well. This is not going to end well. Maybe stop committing terrorism, Israel. Maybe stop. Jesus Christ, bro. When a guy like Leon Panetta is sounding the alarm, whoo, you know Israel has gone so fucking far. Way too far. And also, effectively, he's calling out Biden here for being a cuck, too. Like, so you're just going to go along with whatever they want to do? Whatever they want to do. Guys, Obama had many flaws. There is no way, if he was president, that he would have let it get this far. No way. None. It doesn't even take, like, all it takes is a generic Democrat, one who's not a rabid, diehard, extremist, foaming at the mouth Zionist like Biden. All it takes is a generic Democrat who would have nipped this in the bud a while ago because they can see the fucking chessboard. Oh my God, it's about to be all-out war. It's about to be chaos. It's about to be a lot worse than anybody could possibly fucking imagine. They would have stopped this a long time ago. Biden hasn't. Biden hasn't. Jesus Christ, man. This sent chills up my spine, bro. The former CIA director basically being like, all right, let's wrap it up here. Let's wrap it up here. This has gone way too far. Israel's committing terrorism. Forces of war in control. God, and it's our money, and it's our weapons, and it's blood on our government's hands. It's unacceptable. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.